Welcome in, everybody, to another Cleveland Sports Podcast. It's early in the week, but we had to get together and record because the Cleveland Guardians traded for every active Major League Baseball player on Monday. And, I mean, early returns are that it didn't help at all, but let's not, be prisoners of the moment. It feels like a kind of different moment for this team. So Jordan and I both got excited. We said, we got to do a podcast. So here we are. We're doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast. We were firing off texts. We were like, there's a trade, another trade. Oh, right. A third trade? You kidding me?
That was the one I really liked because my reaction to the first one, to the Jo Adell trade, was I think they could use one more bat. And then you said, no, there's no more bats available.
I said the bats are gone.
Every bat has been spoken for. And they proved you wrong, which I wasn't expecting. I think, and I don't think anybody really was expecting a starting pitcher to come to Cleveland, and much less a starting pitcher who looks like, he slots into the playoff rotation as things stand. It's a very exciting, I think, statement of intent. And obviously you're going to give up talent, but I think looking at it holistically, they didn't give up much that you feel like changes the window that we talked about during the last podcast. We talked about they're opening a contention window is how it feels. And I don't feel like any of these trades, even though a lot of them are very short term with players who will be free agents, seriously impacted their viability in the 2 to 3 to 4 year window that they're looking at.
No, they accomplished something I think maybe not rare is the right word, but like they accomplished adding players that are going to help this year. And maybe not beyond, but that's okay because they didn't really give up anything. Like these were, you can call them rentals. Nathaniel Lau.
Is it Lau?
I think it's Lowe. There's so many lows and Laus in MLB that I get. There's a Brandon.
Okay. I just want to check because I haven't heard anybody say it out loud yet. So
no, I think it's Lowe, but I'm thinking of Brandon Lau, who plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Anyway, Nathaniel Lowe. Yeah, excuse me.
Right. No, I'm here to learn.
Yeah, no, I'm also here to learn, apparently, because that's not how you pronounce his last name.
You want to do the Hazanja thing again?
No, every episode I'm going to horribly mispronounce somebody's last name.
It's very nice of you to not bring up the missed take from me when I tried to start the podcast by calling it a special episode. So
no, that's in the archives.
You're a pro is all I'm trying to say. Okay, go ahead and make your point. Sorry, go ahead.
The main point is that Foster Griffin, the pitcher they got from the Nationals, and even Jo Adell to an extent. Jo Adell is the only one of those that is under contract for another season.
Right.
Whether that season is going to be played or not, nobody knows at this point. But all of these could be considered rentals in a way. But like to your point, they really didn't give up anything of that much value. And I think that really accomplishes trying to help this lineup and also adding an all-star pitcher and a left-handed starter to the rotation. And it's funny, Andrew, because like when you think about Guardians trade deadlines of past, the ones that stand out are the ones where they actually did something because it's so rare that they ever do anything in a major way. So like this obviously is not like an Andrew Miller. This is not like even like a Jay Bruce that they acquired the next year in 2017. So it's not like the caliber of that, but for them to make, and if you count the Bo Naylor trade, which in that they acquired a guy that's going to come out of the bullpen and looked like.
I mean, I would love to hear you try and pronounce his name.
Oh, I think that's Yoho. That one's easy.
Is it just straight ahead Yoho?
It's just Yoho. It's like a Pirates call. Yeah, so we'll take that.
Yoho. Great.
But anytime they acquire a pitcher, I'm like, he's probably going to win a Cy Young. So they did a
Foster
great job.
Griffin move. That's the one where you're like, oh wow, okay. Yeah. And I mean, they are not typically in the business of signing pitchers to long-term, market deals, but you already kind of foreshadowed one of the big questions that faces the entire sport, which is labor unrest is on the horizon. If the economics of the game change, that's the sort of player that you could probably get at a below market rate, I would guess, based on the way that the Guardians work with pitching and his career background, right? Being in Japan for a few years.
Yep.
He does not have the strongest track record of success. Could you potentially extend him either now or after the labor issues are resolved. And, you know, if there's a salary floor or whatever it looks like, I mean, you know, that's way out in front, but it's the type of player that you know, a 30-year-old lefty, you'd say, okay, yeah, you could probably sign him to a 3-year deal and you'd feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, and to your point, like this is the first year he's figured it out. So it's not like
Exactly. Right.
he can be like, oh, I've been an all-star pitcher for 5 years. So
Right.
they fill I mean, the main thing they did besides like actually making moves is that they also filled very necessary holes. Like
Yes.
Joe Adell, who is today, as of this recording, is 2 for 2 against left-handed pitching as a Guardian, which is exactly the reason they got him. Nathaniel Lowe is the opposite side. He's hit righties he's a journeyman. He's been everywhere, but he hits righties very well this year. And they we talked about this too. They have had no injuries to their pitching staff this year, but they also have no depth. And that's another part of this Foster Griffin move where it's like, now if there is, God forbid, some sort of catastrophic injury, they at least have another starter that they can be like, we're not going to miss a beat here. So they really checked off a lot of boxes for, I think, the position that they are in, which is, I think there's a good baseball team in there. There's certainly a very good pitching staff in there that they added to. Now let's throw in a couple of these guys that you didn't have to give up a lot to get, but that should help the lineup and just see where it gets you. And I think for what the Guardians are as an organization and with this sort of looming labor strike that everybody seems to think like it's just guaranteed that it's going to happen.
Yes.
I think this is about the best I would have expected them to do and maybe even exceeded that a little bit. So I'm thrilled, man. We'll see what happens, but like I'm not going to knock them for trying to do the things that they did.
Right. I mean, I think a big part of what we talked about just on Friday, and we're wrong a lot, so it's not like it's breaking news or anything. But
almost always.
Yeah, but we were talking about how it just kind of felt like they're gonna sleepwalk through the deadline. You even said like maybe trade for a reliever, and then I think that happened like right after we recorded, basically.
Yeah,
you know,
I made the call.
Yeah. You were like, Bo, I'm sorry, man. It's I've heard some things about your brother. Anyway, and it felt like that, you know, and then it all kind of happened. And even the Adele move, it's like, yeah, okay, all right, that feels like about right. And you kind of figure like, all right, that's it. And then bang, bang, right near the deadline, they made those two. The bigger moves came at the end, and so it really just it reminded me more of like a Browns, you know, like the lead up to free agency, where you know they're kind of poking around at a few different things, and then all of a sudden, wow, this and then this, you know, and they make a few big moves, and it changes the way you think about the team. And I think that's really what we have not had from the Guardians in a while is trades during the season that change the way that you conceive of the team. But I mean, the texts that you and I sent back and forth, you know, after this happened, it's like there's an excitement, you know, and I think for me anyway, there was a little bit of a feeling. I think you articulated this too. There was a feeling of like, well, kind of, all right, here we are again. They're sitting at 500. The White Sox inexplicably are leading the division, and the Guardians are less than a 50-50 chance to make the playoffs. And, you know, do we get excited about this? If they catch fire in September, maybe we sort of reluctantly get on the bandwagon and, you know, hope they can steal a series. But, you know, you texted me thinking about the starting three of Gavin Williams, Parker Messick, and Foster Griffin, and it's like, yeah, I don't know if it's as good as what the Dodgers have, being that they've assembled a literal all-star team, but it's certainly competitive with any team in the American League. And as we've talked about before, the goal is, you know, you're never going to build a team unless you're a team like the Dodgers that just has unlimited resources. You're never going to build a team that, you know, is a lock on paper to win a championship. The best you can do is build a team that can compete, and this Guardians team can compete. That's how I feel about it. So it gets exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think like this team is playing some pretty lackadaisical baseball.
Yeah, they really are.
And adding for a front office to be like, we would actually like to go for it a little bit is the type of thing that hopefully injects life. It doesn't seem like that has happened today against the Mets so far, but you know, maybe you listen to this tomorrow and they came back and won.
They scored 6 in the ninth. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think like it was some much needed, I don't know, even just some different faces in that clubhouse as they because that series against the Diamondbacks outside of Gavin Williams on Sunday was a pretty rough watch, and it felt very just like, oh man, they're just like stuck in the mud. So I think this also does, like, not only are the players, they got the right kind of players, I think, for where they're at, but it also hopefully just like shakes some of them awake a little bit in what is obviously a long season, and you're in the middle of the summer, and it's like, oh my god, how many more games do we have to play? But but yeah, so we'll see what happens. But even if, honestly, like, worst case scenario, they don't win the division and they fall out of the wild card, I think you still look at the trade deadline as a win no matter what.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't think you can necessarily judge it on the results, because the process is essentially adding players that really, like you said, shore up a few different question marks around the roster while not giving up really touching your top prospects. I think that almost has to be a win. We talked about the pitcher that they got. We talked about Joe Adell a little bit. Nathaniel Lowe is a player, again, that I'm not super familiar with. Spent a lot of his career with Texas and had a few really good years there. Has been okay this year, but not as good as maybe years past, and scuffled last year. And so, I mean, we'll see there. Maybe you look at like what has happened with Patrick Bailey since he's come over to the Guardians as maybe some hope that they can get, something figured out for him. And then I already mentioned, the reliever that they traded for from Milwaukee. It does feel like, contrary to, I think what we expected coming into the season, there has been a little bit of uncertainty in the bullpen. And I think adding another arm and lengthening the pen a little bit does feel necessary. Just because I think there have been a few times this year where it's felt like they just haven't had enough guys, especially when they go with longer time without any time off. And so another guy back there that you can hopefully depend on. He pitched well on Sunday. Hopefully that also sets them up for success. I think it's it's four different players that you expect to contribute. And it's, when you think about the size of baseball rosters, it's a significant addition, right? And then, so overall, I think, an influx of talent. The other thing I wanted to ask you about regarding this, were you surprised at all that they chose to send down Manzardo and Fry? Like, of the options that they had, I was a little bit caught off guard by those choices, just in terms of, you never want to read too much into these things, but it felt a little bit like sending a message of some sort.
Oh, for sure. I mean, David Fry has not, I just heard, has not had a hit in a month, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
they play baseball every day, pretty much.
And again, he's one of the guys that is supposed to hit left-handed pitching. He's one of their few right-handed bats. And when one of the few right-handed bats you have is not hitting, it's like, this is completely worthless. So I think the thing with David Fry, like, obviously was a star in the playoffs 2 years ago. And we will always, there was like a month-long period where he had the second highest OPS in baseball next to Aaron Judge. And it was like the greatest little, like, if you could have a screenshot of that little chart from 2 years ago, you'd be like, remember this? And
you'd with
like,
some bar bets. Yeah,
you would. So I think with David Fry, like, the writing was on the wall there. Like, you can't be on a major league roster and not hit for a month. You can't do it.
No.
The Manzardo thing, I think, was a little more surprising, but I think, like, when they acquired Nathaniel Lowe, who is also going to be a first base / DH, and then you have Rhys Hoskins, who is first base / DH, and Manzardo, there's not really room now. I think they kept Rhys up because, one, he's a veteran, and two, he's a right-handed bat, but he's not. I think eventually that's not a guy you really are going to want in the lineup very much. Because,
hopefully not.
Yeah. And Manzardo had a good series against the Diamondbacks, and I still don't fully know what to make of him, but, like, he's obviously a younger, still developing player. So yeah, he should take some time down there in AAA, because I do think it's like hey, like, we're trying to legitimately win. And I think, like, you should be further along in your development than you are. So why don't you take this time? But I think the path for him to get back up to the majors is a pretty easy one, just because of, like, who's ahead of him. But no, I think you're right. I mean, I think it is very much this was a very un-Guardians like trade deadline, because not only was it like they made multiple trades, but they don't do this type of thing where they're sending down somebody like a Manzardo. Like they
Right.
really, they kind of just let these guys continue to hack away even when they're struggling. And so for them to, and I think people like love David Fry, like the team loves David Fry.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, sometimes you got to be like, we love you, but my God, dude, you know, like, so, yeah, it was a little surprising, but I think Manzardo will be back up sooner than later. Fry, I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's an open question what happens there. I think it would be probably good for Manzardo to spend like a month in Columbus just mashing, AAA pitching and, hitting 10 home runs in a month or something and coming back up. Like that feels like a pretty good outcome for him. But, they obviously we'll see, with both. But I thought it was just interesting. I mean, I think your point's well taken that it was kind of part of it is just the types of players they added. They already, those were the players that had those spots on the roster. You're not going to replace your middle infielders or anything like that. But I just still seeing those names, to your point, it was a little surprising because that has not been the Guardians' MO to kind of, and I don't think they're cutting bait on Manzardo, but to move off of a young player for a veteran is like the most un-Guardians thing to do. So
it is, but it is. The Manzardo thing is interesting because the Guardians very famously right now have a prospect that plays the same position who is just destroying, is probably one of their like highest rated prospects they've had in a very long time, in Ralphie Velasquez. And like I saw he hit another 2-run homer tonight. Like he's raking at AAA. And that is somebody who has to be I think he was pretty untouchable in trade talks. So Manzardo has some time. I don't know how much time. And again, if he was hitting, they wouldn't have had to go get Nathaniel Lowe. So it's like, yeah, man, there's some ripple effects, and they've got a prospect down there who looks like a dude. You never fully know, but looks like a dude.
And his name is Ralphie, so we feel pretty good about it.
His name is Ralphie, and you can do Wreck-It Ralph, and it's just like there's a lot of potential.
That's fun for us.
Yeah, it's
everybody understands that we enjoyed that. So we wanted just to talk pretty quickly about the Guardians and the trades that they made. They've got a big series against the White Sox coming up this weekend. It's in Chicago. Did it cross my mind to drive to Chicago and watch one of these games? It did.
Yeah, it did. And has a conclusion been reached?
No, stay tuned. We'll see. I mean, it's just one of those things where you have to kind of balance a lot of factors to weigh and balance, that sort of thing. But I mean, I think what it comes down to, Jordan, just speaking honestly, is that I live in a beautiful place, and there's a part of me that doesn't want to spend 4 hours in the car to be on the south side of Chicago. But
no, I get that.
Are there other fun things I could do in Chicago? Yes, we'll see. See what the forecast looks like. We'll see what we can put together. I see the pitchers might be. We'll do some more research. We're looking into it. But yeah, we're excited. White series against the White Sox. Obviously, it's a weird schedule. I was looking at their schedule for August, and it's like it feels like a kid pulling names of baseball teams out of a helmet. Like it just feels so random. And then September gets a little bit more normal with divisional games and that sort of thing. So August is going to be, I think, a little weird. But like I said, big series against the White Sox that could set the tone for the month. And so, like we said, we're excited. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, the only other thing that I can even think to bring up is just that, Deshaun Watson continues to be employed by the Cleveland Browns as a quarterback. And it is almost, I mean, I really think we talked about this a lot on Friday. We don't need to go into it all again, but with one exception, even everybody that works the beat is kind of like, yikes.
Yeah. It's every day I do find the entertainment in just reading the beat reporter tweets and then seeing videos that the Browns put out where it's like they don't show who threw the pass because it got picked off, and they're just like, what a PBU, and you're like, who in God's name threw that pass?
Four's up.
Four's up, baby. Yeah, man, every indication is that he does not have it anymore. And so much of what made him great was his escapability. I think because there's so many questions of how did he get from that quarterback to this quarterback? Now, a lot of things have happened in between, a lot, but just from a physical
Absolutely.
playing the game perspective. It's like you watch a highlight of him in Houston and you're like, what happened? But
Mm-hmm.
so much of his ability was extending the play, breaking sacks, and then making incredible plays on the move. But
Mm.
like his ability to just like be in the pocket and read the field seems, I mean,
truly,
non-existent.
truly non-existent. Yeah. I think
Yeah,
what's interesting to me, the only thing I think it's a little bit of a new thought here is just, I mean, they're putting themselves in a situation, well, I would say actually they probably have already put themselves in a situation. I mean, they can't. The thing is that if it was any other veteran quarterback that you signed for $6 million off the street who was underperforming to this extent, you could look to trade them for a 7th-round pick. You
Yep.
could, you could reach an injury settlement. You could move them off the roster somehow. He's not going anywhere, and so they're potentially in a situation here where functionally Dylan Gabriel's going to be the backup quarterback
Yeah.
because
Yeah, but have you heard how good he looks in camp, Andrew?
I just don't see how you can play Watson in a game with the way that he has looked. So I mean, and again, we've got a month. Lots more can happen. We'll see what the preseason looks like. And I think it's worth mentioning that it's not as if Sanders has looked so good that this makes it not a competition. But I think it's one thing to talk about in January or April. Oh, they kind of don't have a quarterback. It's another thing, man, when you're seeing it like projected onto the big screen every day, which is where we're at now. And I just really wonder, they can't obviously afford to carry 4 quarterbacks, but you also wonder, can they go into the season with these 3 quarterbacks and really prevent, like a mutiny, like a Captain Phillips style, Grant Delpit calling the plays, or I mean, like it's just,
And
I just can't imagine.
And they have these 2 receivers that by all accounts look like they're very talented, but they need reps and development. And if you're getting this type of quarterback play that we think we're going to get, it's going to be next to impossible to even have any idea how to evaluate them. And yeah, we have talked about this ad nauseum, but like this was the most predictable thing in the world.
Right.
And the only thing that is coloring their glasses is this sort of hubris that they have with Deshaun Watson and trying to salvage even in the they are so close to being done and they still feel like they had to go into training camp and have a competition with him and Shedeur. And again, we have no idea what Todd Monken thinks and what his thoughts on any of this are. I think we will maybe get some insight into that in the preseason and depending on who's getting reps and who the starting quarterback is. But yeah, like it didn't have to be this way. There are veterans you could have signed for very little money. If you just were like, we're not playing Deshaun, we have no interest in playing Deshaun. He can be on the team, but like he is not in these plans. And you're seeing why. And Andrew, this was the same thing the past couple of years. These are the same like training camp reports where it's like, boy, he doesn't look good. And now he's doing it, but coming off multiple Achilles tears. So it's like, this was, of course he's going to look awful. He hasn't played football in like a year and a half. It's crazy. It's madness.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I think it's, again, early. They're still installing the offense. There's a lot that can change, but I mean, the indications after, I think we're basically at a week of camp now here, are that this is exactly as bad as we feared it could be. And I just think it really calls into question. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's a dark place to be as a Browns fan on the 4th of August, right? Like, because you just can't buy into anything. I mean, you talk about like, well, the offensive line looks like it's, maybe coming together. They've got some young players. You mentioned the wide receivers. Judkins looks like he's back to a large extent. What room is he going to have to run if they can't move the ball, pass the ball beyond the sticks? So again, I don't want every one of these podcasts to turn into this because people are hearing it from a lot of different outlets right now. But I will remind you, take one small victory lap here. We were the first people saying, even back in December, if you don't fire Andrew Berry, Deshaun Watson comes back and we do this all again. And that's what Jimmy Haslam chose. That's where it all starts. And I saw today Haslam is in New York City on the dais introducing the new commissioner of the MLS.
Yes. Well, he's got business to attend to, and he's got other investments. And
it's just crazy how bad he can be at so many different things simultaneously.
And you know what is also disrespectful? And again, I don't want to disrespect Dillon Gabriel. Okay.
Dill Pickle?
Let me preface this by saying, Dylan, I'm sorry. Every time I talk about you on this podcast, I just want to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I am not going to be drawn in by any tweets telling me that Dillon Gabriel is looking good in practice. I'm not. I don't care. He could complete every pass of training camp and it would not matter because and that's the same thing a little bit with Shedeur, where like, and then you see these clips and you're just like, there's no pass rush and they're going half speed. And like none of this until we get into the preseason games and then that joint practice with the Bills.
Sure.
And I guarantee you're going to see some tough football. And I just am not like, people are like, whoa, well, what if Dillon year 1 to year 2? And it's like, are you guys being serious? Like, I can't do this, man. It's hard.
I mean, I think what I would say is like Gabriel and Sanders being at times okay in 7-on-7s and even 11-on-11s. That's what it's supposed to be like, even for bad quarterbacks. Like the fact that Watson can't even clear that bar is not an indicator of the other guys being good. It's an indicator of Deshaun Watson, like absent the contract that he has, would not be on an NFL roster, could not get past a tryout. Like he couldn't get a job in the CFL. He's playing so poorly. Like that's what this is about. And so like, let's not let the bar slip here, in terms of what it looks like. I mean, the reason that quarterbacks look okay in practices, they can't get hit. And so their physical limitations don't show up as much as they do in games because you don't need as much arm strength and you don't need as much, pocket mobility and movement to survive. So we know this. We all know this, right?
Everyone knows this. And
but we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend that any of these guys can be an NFL starter long-term. It's disappointing stuff.
That's bleak.
Like I said, we're not going to do this every podcast.
We're going to try not to.
We're not. I won't allow it to happen. I mean,
I'll do a solo episode if you don't want to join.
I'm not going to release. We can't make the people. You can't do that to Dillon.
You're right.
I won't let you do that.
And again, Dillon, you don't deserve this, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, man. You don't deserve this.
Trade him to Atlanta, man.
God, let him be free.
Let him live.
Let him go with his football
Kev misses
Kevin
him.
Stefanski, man. It's not going well in Atlanta. Every quarterback's hurt. Every quarterback's hurt. Okay?
Yeah. I did see that I think it was Deshaun Watson in the athletic quarterback tiers was ranked ahead of Michael Penix. So
so that's good.
So Stefanski's got that going for him.
Did you see where Shedeur? I forget. Did you see where Shedeur was ranked?
Ooh, and we apologize to Shedeur too. That's not what this podcast is.
Can I just before we go?
Sure. One more thing.
I want to read one quote here.
Okay, great.
Just because I think it's.
Is this related to football or?
Yeah. This is related to Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, great.
I want to read you what one defensive coordinator said about.
This is an NFL defensive coordinator.
Shedeur, this is a person that works in the NFL and runs a defense.
He's employed by a team.
He's employed. Quote, I'd sleep like a baby if I got to play Shedeur every week, unquote. Have you ever, just genuinely asking, Andrew, do you think any coordinator has ever said that about any quarterback ever? Publicly,
any non-Browns quarterback,
non-Browns quarterback.
I'm sure coordinators have said it about Cody Kessler. I'm sure coordinators have said it about the late great Charlie Fry. I'm sure that coordinators
Johnny
have said
Manziel,
it about.
They were salivating.
Of course, right? They would say, "I'll go out and party with Manziel the night before because I know I don't have anything to worry about day of the game."
Oh my God! Looking forward, being like the feeling joy because you get to face a quarterback.
And I also think what's in there is like some of the hate. Like, there's a
sure.
lot of guys in the NFL that don't like that he's the son of the coach and the coach shows up at the practices and all the stuff around that. And I think that shows up in these quotes a little bit too of like,
absolutely.
It's one thing to have the rep that he has and then play the way that he does. It's another thing then to also like have all the other stuff that goes along with it because of the name And I think there's a lot of NFL guys. I mean, if you've ever watched Hard Knocks, this will not come as a surprise to you. A lot of NFL guys that get real excited about humiliating NFL players who are a little too proud. And that's a big part of the league is trying to humble guys. So yeah, it's a good situation, and I'm excited. Is my summary.
Fire up the preseason. Fire it up because I am fascinated in the worst way to watch.
Yeah. Well, and we got to stop talking about this, but I would just say that there's a lot of things to be excited about with this team, and the quarterback train wreck is going to overshadow all of them.
Yeah, it's really
that's a shame.
That's the biggest bummer. Yeah, that's the biggest bummer of it, because there is fun stuff going on.
Yeah.
But there's a cloud cover.
Yeah, it's cloudy. It's cloudy in Cleveland. There's some fog rolling in. There's some fog.
You've heard of Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Well,
it's always cloudy. Have you watched the show Widows Bay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
love it.
So the Browns quarterback situation is the fog.
It's the fog. It's the fog. It's a fog that's not just a fog. It will murder you.
Yeah. That's a killing fog. Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
It's a beautiful resort town, but if the fog shows up, you're going to want to head for cover.
You're going to want to go. Anyway, I highly recommend that as a recommendation.
I'm in the middle of it currently.
Oh, you haven't finished, huh?
No.
You're in for a treat. You're in for a real treat.
What's crazy is that every episode of it is me laughing my ass off and then shitting my pants, like alternately. And I've never had that experience before. Like I've never watched something that is that scary that is also that funny.
It's a perfect combination of hilarious and spooky. It's really wonderful.
And then like it's in some ways a great summer show, but in other ways it's so dark that sometimes I'm literally just looking at a picture of my lawn because all I see is my window. Like I'm just like, well, the TV turned off. I don't know what this is.
Like, is there a scene happening here?
Right.
Or is
Who died? Somebody died.
Yeah.
I can tell somebody died.
Dead?
The one where I paused.
Yeah.
I'm watching it. I mean, we'll lay all the cards out here. I'm watching it with my girlfriend, and the life gets in the way, and so you're not going to watch it without her. I'm not going to do that.
You're not a monster.
No, so now I got to wait, right? So, but the last one that we watched was the history one where they're back.
Oh, the flashback episode.
Yeah, and so the whole thing is dark, right? Just like baseline, it's dark, and then half of it takes place at night.
There was no light in that time. So
so I got a real good look at my yard and everything that's going on there, and a few brief glimpses of Hamish Linklater being a real monster. So hats off to those folks. It's hilarious, it's scary, I think we've got the Deshaun Watson death march. Now we've got the fog that is the Browns' overall quarterback situation.
And what other podcast, may I ask, can connect the Cleveland Browns and Widows Bay? You're not getting that anywhere else. So
I mean, it honestly feels fairly obvious to me.
Yeah, you're right, but it's just like, are we going to be brave enough to make the connection? Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do a special pod on all the different comparisons we can draw between like matching a character.
I would love to.
Like who's who and I really want to think about who Wick is in the. Okay. Well, yeah. This might be we're at 98 subscribers. We're 2 away from 100. I think a very fun 100 subscriber special episode would be all of the cast of Widows Bay as Cleveland Browns. Yeah. And then we can spoiler alert it and everything. I'll finish the show and we'll do that. So,
all right, great. Yeah,
we've got a plan. So people have to subscribe to make this happen. Okay. I would suggest people that are associated with the TV show Widows Bay could jump in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go Guardians. That's all I got, man. This has been fun. We'll be back probably end of the week and we'll talk some more sports. Until then, everybody, take care.